Um, how do I figure out whether working towards a managing or leadership position at work is right for me? It feels like that's the expected path with promotions, but it feels so different to creative work with demands and stresses of running teams. I don't know if I'm cut out for that, but I still want to progress my career. What should I do?
Yeah, I mean, I've faced this question from people not only in this industry, but in so many industries forever.
Mm,
It's, quite often specialists get promoted because they're doing a good job of being a specialist. And
yeah.
all of a sudden, here's your team, knock yourself out. We'll see you in 12 months when you've done the review. And they're like,
Mm,
holy crap, what does that actually mean?
mm,
And do I want it? So yeah, this is a fork in the road that a lot of people come across. Um, like, hang on, it's not what I signed up for. I'm really good at designing, or I'm really good at being a strategist, or whatever it might be that this person does. And I wasn't here to deal with company politics or who's crying in the bathroom or whatever it might be. So,
mm,
um, it's a different job. It's a different skill set. You're not starting again, but it's a bit like when you come out of uni. You're a bit of a deer in headlights. You go into your first design role. Holy crap, I think I know a bit. I've got a bit of history behind me. I walk
mm,
in, I don't. It's the same again. I've got all this specialist skill behind me now. But do I want to change that? So probably the first thing, and one of my bosses at Cotton On had this discussion with me quite a bit, was around, don't believe the myth that progression means you have to be a manager. You can be an elite consultant or senior strategist or creative director
mm,
or whatever it might be, and not manage teams or people. You could operate on your own. We bring in specialists here into the agency when we've got particular work to do. And these people are running their own show, and they are absolutely amazing at what they do. They're as good as you get. They're as senior as you can find, but they don't manage people,
mm,
or they don't lead a business, or they don't go onto the other side of the market. So you need to understand what type of leader you want to be if you want to be a leader. Put your toe in the water. You can put your hand up to mentor. That's always a good way to do it, whether it's formal or informal. You can put your hand up to manage a project within the business that you're working in, that sort of thing. How does it make you feel? Do you get a buzz from it? Do you get a kick from it? As I talked about
mm,
earlier, it's like, I don't profess to being brilliant at anything, but I enjoy helping others achieve great results. So, that's where my skill, I would like to think, lies. One thing I've noticed specifically in agency world is I feel like there's really two types of leaders, and I relate this back to kind of the sporting analogy because that's my world. They're on-field leaders and off-field leaders. So your on-field leaders are the guys that are on the max. They're out there sitting amongst a team. They're helping with advice on the run, whether it's a tech issue, whether it's a software problem, whether it's a creative block that gives them inspiration for. They're mentoring the guys. These people are usually more senior, but don't necessarily have team members reporting to them. So they're kind of what I was just talking about with those
mm,
specialists, those jets. They're leaders by default. Naturally, people look towards them because of who they are and what they've achieved. But they're not technically defined as a leader. And then there's the off-field. So this is the equivalent to your coach or your manager in a sporting team, and they're the ones in the meeting rooms. They're defining strategy. They're building direction for the business, all that sort of stuff. These are usually who everyone reports to. They're different personalities. They're
mm,
different people, and it's just about Katie's touched on this so much about knowing who you are and understanding what you enjoy and what gives you a kick. Yes, it's hard to say follow your passion in the world, but also don't put yourself into a position that you feel awkward, round peg, square
mm,
hole kind of stuff. So there's ways of developing your career without having to manage or lead or go into that type of role. But then there's also those hybrid on-field coaching, on-field leader roles that can fulfill a bit of both. So is there a direct answer in all of that? Probably not, but it's really what gives you a kick, and then follow that.
Yeah, excellent. Katie, anything to add?
Yeah, I agree. If you want to ask yourself what gives me a kick, I'll give you some more questions that might help inform it. What are the qualities of the day that I most enjoy? What are the aspects of the roles, each role that embodies those qualities? Why are those qualities important to me? What do I gain in having them? What do they provide me? What am I denied in the absence of them? If I couldn't get it wrong, if there was no societal bias, if they were both equal, what would my heart choose to do? Just be really, really curious about that's what was bothering me down here, like nudging for pets the whole time. I was like, I'm really trying to answer this question, Penny. I agree with, how do you get your kick? Sometimes that question can feel a bit confronting. So how do we answer that question? Because that is the right question. So how we answer it is, what do you love? What do you love about it? Why do you love it? How do you feel when you get it? How do you feel when you don't get it? How would you feel without it? How would you feel with more of it? All of that. Oh, there she is. Yeah. There's another one somewhere too.
Yeah, that's really good. And also, like, be prepared for the fact that it's going to be different. But actually different might even be better. Right? Like, I mean, I think a lot of people will talk about it of like, oh God, I didn't sign up for this. What is this? But it does go back to that kind of intrinsic part of like, what is it that does give me the kick? What is it that, is going to get me out of bed in the morning? And sometimes, I think for those people who have traditionally been, oh, it's on the tools and craft, it's worth a double check of like, is it that, or is it actually seeing great ideas get out in the world? And you just play a slightly different role in making that happen. And it can be really fulfilling. I think going back to what you said, Mike, around your experience, I think it was at Nike, where, the team had done so well that they'd all kind of, flown off into other teams and other opportunities. And it's like, well, I did my job. And that was so great to be able to see. So,
just what I touched on is when you go into your first job, you've probably got all those same doubts that you would probably have going into your first leadership role. So just know that you're probably getting paid a truckload more than what you were when you went into your first job, but it's not an experience you haven't experienced before. It's just in a different environment.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much, both of you, for excellent answers, sharing of stories, sharing of very personal responses to things as well, both of you. And it's been absolutely brilliant. So we're going to have lots of content that are going to go back up onto the site to be able to help more and more people as well. And we'll be back on the first Thursday of next month. So thank you very much, and we'll close it there.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Cheers.